Good evening and welcome to Biz News. I'm Elizabeth Lee together with Tony Lopez. Tonight we're going to talk about the Philippine energy sector with our guest, Congressman Reynaldo Umali, who is the expert on Committee on Energy. Thank you for being on our show, Cong.
Hi, hello Beth and Tony. It's been a long time. I think I
Welcome
last
back. We
guested-
missed you.
Yeah, and hope this will happen.
Dapper and younger.
I'm more relaxed now.
That means you enjoy your current job.
Yeah.
Although
Not much problem,
It's
huh?
quite more challenging, no?
Very challenging,
And
especially
a greater impact on the national life, no?
Especially this evening, we're going to talk about what's so important, which is the energy sector. Can you share with us, Cong, what is the state of the energy in the Philippines?
Well, as you have heard, the Secretary of Energy, there seems to be an impending crisis come summer months of 2015. But then again, even if you look back, 2001 was the enactment of the EPIRA law, Electric Power Industry Reform Act. And 13 years after, in 2014, you say it. We have the highest power rate in Asia, of course. Second, actually, next to Japan, because only of the Fukushima experience. But before that, we were number one, and we have the highest rate in the world. Or ninth highest in the world.
Seven.
Or now it's probably seventh because it gets higher as day passes. So this is the situation now. EPIRA promised us sufficient power supply and reasonable rate,
Yes.
but we are not anywhere near it.
Yeah.
In fact, when you talk of energy, you don't only talk of power. You also talk of oil industry.
Yes.
And 1998 was the year of the downstream oil deregulation law. And the downstream oil deregulation law promised clean fuel and fairly priced fuel. But likewise, we're not anywhere near that.
What were the prices of fuel then? Would you remember at that time?
In 1998, I think the price then of
14.
fuel was about 12 pesos.
12.
Now we are at the level of 40s and 50s. The price of power in 2001 was somewhere about 4 pesos.
4 pesos.
Now we
12.
are in 13, 14 pesos. So now
Three,
you
four,
make your
three
own
to-
conclusion out of that.
Yes. So
Three
where
to
do
four
we
times.
see the light? We seem to have a lot of...
Anyway, the crisis translates into how many hours of brownout daily, say, in the biggest island, Luzon?
Well, in my personal discussion with Secretary Padilla, he told me about this. This would cover about 2 months,
Yeah.
up to 3 months of about 1 to 2 hour brownouts.
1 to 2. Daily.
Daily, yeah. So
Then the
there
2 to
will
3
be
months
a rotational brownouts of about 1 to 2 hours. Of course, there is this impending, what do you call this? Yung
Shutdown of the Malampaya.
of the Malampaya. So I do not know how this will impact.
That will
on-
affect about 4 major power plants. No?
Correct. So this is again a problem, but I think there are solutions to this.
Are you optimistic?
I am quite optimistic because while we await for any meeting of the JCPC as
What is
directed,
JCPC, sir?
JCPC is the
Joint?
Joint Congressional Power Commission.
Yeah.
This commission has the oversight over all power agencies of government.
Meron.
So, but we have not met, and we're still waiting for this. But in the meanwhile, that this meeting has not happened, I did my homework by calling for a technical working group where I invited power stakeholders, like for example. The major power stakeholder, the distribution
Our producers.
unit, is Meralco.
Yeah.
No? I mean,
Yes.
Meralco,
Yeah.
because they distribute it. And they control about, 60-70% of
They're a
Luzon.
monopoly on Luzon. No?
And then we called in PIPA, the Power Industry Producers Association. And then we also called in PISAM, or the...
Our Sector Liabilities Management.
Yes, and of course, NAPOCO. So I called them in to discuss what we can do. And I think I have yet to receive the report from my committee, but then there is already something that is more clear, which is the clear way forward.
Clear and definite.
Correct, that's correct.
So kaya nilang i-write out yung crisis.
The shortage. That
And then 3 to 4 months will be what? From February or from May?
From March.
From March.
March or April up to
Building
May.
up to May, summer. No?
That's right.
And
So what is gonna happen, I guess, we have heard Secretary Pitilla also talk about the ILP, or the Interruptible Load Program.
like code word for generator?
This is getting the embedded capacities or the self-generating capacities of big industry users.
The malls. No?
Yeah, the malls and other industries. They will disconnect from the grid. They will use their own power, and of course, they will get paid for the power that they use.
Will get paid.
Definitely, yes.
For selling the power to themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Para hindi na sila makadagdag pa sa demand doon sa main grid.
On the main grid, yes.
Pero mahal po yan, sir. Because these are generators. So diesel,
These are diesel gensets.
bunker,
Kanya mahal yan. And these can be used for peaking. You know? So, yun yung...
hindi pwedeng patakbuhin for so many hours a day, no?
Hindi, pwedeng patakbuhin
pwede.
yun. But if you do that, then it will be very costly. Kasi you're running on diesel.
Yeah.
Unlike yung rate natin ngayon, because these are...
Coal. One up is coal, no?
Bundled rates to. Meron tayong coal na mura, meron tayong hydropower na mura,
average, no?
and then geothermal and so on and so forth. If you put it all in, then you get an average which is way below
8 pesos.
diesel gensets.
But Kong, how feasible is that ILP? Because running on gas or diesel is more expensive than plugging on electricity. But before you answer that, we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So, Kong, how feasible is the ILP, the Interruptible Load Program? Using diesel versus just plug it in?
Well, we're talking about a 500 megawatt deficit now. When we looked at the ERC registration records of how many megawatts are there embedded capacity or self-generation capacity available, we saw that those registered in ERC are about 3,600.
Ganun karami? Megawatts?
3,600 megawatts. Those that are 1 megawatt and above is 3,100 megawatts. Those that are within the Meralco franchise area is about 1,900 megawatts. Or so probably this is even increasing.
Almost 5,000?
No. These are... the total is 3,006. Those that are 1 megawatt and above are 3,001 of the 3,006. Then those that are in Meralco franchise area is about anywhere between 1,900 to 2,300 megawatts of the 3,600.
Pero rated capacity.
If we are just trying to solve that problem of the deficit of 500, then we have enough capacity. We don't need to lease.
The ILP capacity is almost 8 times, no?
Correct. So the only challenge now is how do you make the private sector voluntarily
Actually, to do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
How? Anong sanction or
of course,
suasion nyo?
no, walang sanction kasi kung
Suasion
voluntary yan, then we will just invite them. And
But you talked to them already that they
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
So are they amenable?
Kailangan niya may coordinator or bastonero akong.
Yeah.
Correct. That DOE should really
Design
try
it.
to get them to volunteer. Now, as I've been saying and telling, even I sent a memo to the President on this, if they will not cooperate voluntarily, then we are willing to give that mandatory, that emergency power to mandate. But then we will have to be.
That doesn't require legislation ko nga, because the President of the Philippines has visitorial powers, especially in energy companies.
Well, but
He can seize actually assets.
it's
power
not
assets.
that easy
It's not
because
that easy,
these are really private sector
it's not that easy.
owned. And of course, we would want that,
Soft approach.
the private sector will
Cooperation
will
is much, yeah.
That is the best. And knowing the Filipinos, knowing how resilient we are, knowing that when the odds are against us, we are willing to cooperate, I think this is doable.
Bali pala ang principal, paddle your own canoe. No?
Yeah.
Kanya-kanya kayong tirit.
Correct. And so if we are able to free from the grid 2,300 megawatts of power, then
Kayang-kaya.
there will be enough to cover the shortfall
right.
of 500 only.
Or even 1,000. No?
Yes. And we have also made our computations of what would be the cost of ILP versus leasing this from
Kayo na lang ang bibili ng
service
power
provider.
nila.
When you lease this, we're looking at about 14 billion for a 2-year lease period. And no company
per
would
kilowatt
lease
hour?
this lower than 2 years. Because they will have to set up, they will have
Yes.
to bring in all of their equipment here and so on and so forth, and then bring in all the people.
Madali sila i-connect sa grid.
Yes.
Madali.
And then, so it will amount to about 14 billion. And
Mura yan, mura.
if no contractor will agree to a 2-year lease, it could be a 5-year lease, and this will cost us 36 billion.
Mas mura sa 5 years.
Just to address the 2 to 3 month window of 1 to 2 hour rotating brownout, the economy will have to bear the cost of about anywhere from 14 billion to 36 billion, exclusive of the oil or the diesel that will be used. So there is still an additional expense that you need to operate, and this is cost to government again. So against that is if you go through an ILP, I don't know. Our initial, our guesstimate is that it will not even amount to about 1 billion.
Not
Bali,
even 1 billion. So
Mas
they're
mura yung
positive.
14 billion, ganun ba yan? Mas mura o yung 14 billion?
Mas mura
To lease.
yung ILP.
Pag nilis mo, pinakamababa mo is 14 billion.
For 2 years.
Because
14
you
billion
have,
per year.
14 billion yung total cost. Kasi ililis mo yung equipment na yun, 500 megawatts for 2 years. Kanya 14 billion. And if the lessor will not agree to a 2-year
Siya
lease,
sa sarili niya.
hindi, yung lessor, yung
ikaw,
provide
government.
ng additional capacities. And there are about, I think, mga 3 big companies that does this worldwide.
Yeah.
If they don't agree to a 2-year lease period, the
5
next
years
bet is 5 years, and
would
that will cost
us-
about 36 billion.
Yeah, so we should really push for the ILP for
Correct.
collaboration from the business sector. Is
Yeah.
there a positive feedback
Mas
from that?
mura
that
pa
they
rin
would
yun.
do
Well,
that?
I gave my memo to the president, and the president told me that he will call for a meeting on this, because I want to get this to the president. So when he makes a decision on whether to ask for emergency power or not, he will have the full range of facts
That's right.
to come up with an informed
Congressman Mali, who are the biggest owners of the ILP generators?
I don't have a list with me,
Yeah.
but of course the malls, are
malls,
there, and then some manufacturing companies are there.
Uh-huh.
So Ito yung mga, and they have from 1 megawatt above.
And that apparently will, based on what you know now, will cost us, the Filipino people, less than if we were to.
That's
1 megawatt can light up a small barrio, di ba?
I think the cost is computed at about 52 cents
Per kilowatt hour.
kilowatt hour only.
52 times 44.
Wow.
Oo. So, mga 20 pesos, mga ganon.
52
Oh, no,
cents.
52 cents.
52 cents.
Pesos.
For those...
Hindi, times 44 kasi peso. Cents eh.
Ano, for the INP?
Centavos?
Oo, centavos.
Oh, mura-mura pala
Yeah.
niya.
And this is for consumers consuming 200 kilowatts.
Fantastic.
Of course, it goes higher as you consume.
200
Of course.
kilowatts, that's a small house, no?
Most
With a
small.
refrigerator, TV, and about
So it will
20
translate,
bulbs.
you know, if you are a 200 kilowatt
Yung
user,
subsidy rate.
times 52, that's just about 100 pesos.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews.
So, balik kong, walang dapat ikakaba sa summer of 2015.
I think so. For as long as we're able to get all of these companies with embedded capacities or self-generating capacities to volunteer, then hindi tayo kakabahan.
So,
Pag hindi sila nag-volunteer, that is where we will mandate. And
next summer, next year, 2015, mapanood natin yung mga blockbusters, Avengers, Superman, Spider-Man, nang hindi biglang mapuputol dahil walang kuryente.
hindi mangyayari.
I hope so, natama ka, Kong. Wala nang ka-backup yan sa ano na yan?
Well, hindi mo nga kailangan kasi nandito na eh. Kasi iba yung imo-mobilize mo pa para dalhin mo dito versus nandyan na nagagamitin mo na lang.
Tama.
Diba? Kanya, that's why it's
Kasi
cheaper.
parang lumalabas.
And since there are a few providers of this service na yung pwedeng mag-mobilize ng 500 megawatts at one point in time, kukunti lang yan. Baka 2-3 kumpanya lang yon in the world, no? Siyempre, and they know that there is a crisis, they will impose very high rates.
Of course, yeah.
You know? So, at saka, kasi gagamitin...
Ayun ang ultimate backup. Bibili tayo sa abroad ng mga portable diesel plants.
Hindi tayo bibili, mag-release.
Lilis.
So what we want to now is actually to lessen the cost because we can actually do it, supply our own.
Gusto ng mga portable
That's the point,
diesel
yeah.
plants, minimum of 2 years na hiramin yung nila,
Correct.
power plant nila.
Yeah.
They did that in Fukushima. Nung sumabog ang Fukushima, I think the company called Agreco mobilized 100 megawatts instantaneously. I think they
How
did
many
it
months
in
ang
70
mobilization?
days.
70 days, less than 2
They were
months.
able to mobilize
Fantastic.
within 70 days and
Less than 3
bring
months,
back the power in 70 days.
Now, Kong, I wanted to ask you about what you're doing in Mindoro.
What
Because
am
you're
Then,
doing...
do you apply your ideas on energy and innovation sa yung main constituency?
I
Mindoro?
will tell you, Mindoro is the microcosm
Of the
of
Philippines.
the Philippine energy situation. You
Kulang
know
pa
why?
din ng kuryente?
Mindoro is an island, and it is a spag area, meaning we are not
SPUG.
connected to any grid.
Small power utility.
Philippines is likewise. We are an archipelagic country, and we are not connected to any grid. We cannot connect to
Visayas, Mindanao.
China or Japan or wherever because it's too far away. So we are independent of all of these grids. So it's like Mindoro. Now, when we talk of the interconnection, you know, Mindoro is connected from Bansud to the other side, which is San Jose Occidental.
Bansud
Mindoro.
is what part of Mindoro?
South of Mindoro.
South.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towns not connected to the island grid. Yeah,
How do
because
they manage
we
with
are
their
not
power?
fully looped.
Yeah.
We are not fully
How do
looped.
they manage with their power
Well,
supply?
there are smaller connections, but this makes all the more inefficient
Bali,
the
Mindoro
distribution of
Yes.
is what, 60% electrified only?
My side is I'm down to my 50 sitios. By 2014, we will be
50
100.
out of how many sitios?
In
500.
in the south, it's about almost 1,000 in my
1,000.
district. In my district.
You mean 5% lang ang
Wow.
ano mo, ang hindi electrified?
Correct. And by 2014, and this is
100.
this is the commitment not of me or Nea or my brother, the governor. This is a commitment of the president, more or less. So by 2014, we will be fully energized.
Bali, Mindoro is 2 provinces.
Yes.
Ang mas malaki yung province mo.
Hindi, mas maliit yung probinsya namin, pero mas maraming tao at mas
Ba't mas
developed.
mayamang kayo doon?
Mas develop lang kami.
O mas magaling kayo? Hindi naman.
Hindi naman, bago lang kami. You know, we're just starting. Hindi pa nga umiinit.
Bago lang kayong creation as a province?
Hindi. Before, it was an island province. Isa lang yon. Tapos hinati yon sometime in the 60s, I think. I think during the time of President Macapagal. So, hinati yon. And then, but we advanced...
What is your capital?
Calapan.
Calapan.
Mamburao naman yung kabila.
Sino yung may resort?
Kami. Yung,
kayo.
meron din sa kabila. Yung
Puerto
Aporate
Galera.
is there.
Yung Puerto
Puerto Galera
na
is
kanina.
sa amin yan.
Sa inyo?
But I come from the 2nd district, kanya sa 1st district yun.
Dalawa congressman mo?
Dalawa.
But
Isa lang.
Kung you're doing alternative natural gas, or well, what are you doing in Mindoro that will be the benchmark actually for others to
Just
follow?
to finish
Yeah,
yung
yeah,
kanina description ko of Mindoro. So
Mindoro.
we are the microcosm. We lack power because our generating capacity is only in the vicinity of 30 megawatts. And
30?
30 to...
Ano bang
How
requirement
much do
nyo?
you
ang
use?
peak load namin, umaabot kami ng 38 eh.
38.
So, kuminsan, merong pang, there is still a challenge.
Shortage, yeah.
But we have, so, what are we doing? So, sabi ko nga, halos pareho kami. So, sabi ko nga, if we're able to develop a good model for Mindoro, this is a replicable model that can be implemented nationwide. No? So, this is what we're doing. So, when I became chair of Committee on Energy, what did I do? Okay, matatapos na namin yung looping of all of our sitios. But even if we loop them, if we do not have the power to supply, then brownout pa rin yan. So, when I became Committee on Energy, I made sure that all of the service contracts and or generating requirements that we need will come in. So now the 40 megawatt geothermal plant in Nauhan is in the works. We have
Kailan siya on stream or completed?
I was the indicative date is about third quarter of next year.
Ganun kabilis ha?
Now we have also in the works 2 hydropower plants of 10 megawatts each.
May river system ka ba yan?
Marami kaming rivers. So we have about 60 megawatts on stream by next year, and this will now provide
Twice your requirements. Twice
our requirements. So, but this is cheap because this is renewable. This is renewable, geothermal and hydro. So between the two, we can already fully
may
cover
mga
our
hot
requirements.
spring kayo doon?
Meron.
Okay
You're going to produce excess capacity, which the rest of the country actually will need.
Well, we have a neighbor in Occidental Mindoro, and we will also
But
supply.
may volcanoes ba kayo doon?
Presumably, because
the whole
we have a
island is a
lake.
volcano.
Remember, we have a lake. And we have
The lake is Nauhan Lake? No?
Nauhan Lake, which is pristine beauty, not a single
Ilang
fish pen in
hectares
that
yan?
lake.
Ilang hectares yan?
This is about 10 to 11,000 hectares of water.
Wow.
1/3 the size of Laguna,
Correct.
lake.
Nice. Okay, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews. Can we talk about this one?
Hindi ako magsabi ng Mindoro. Mindoro, sa grade school, tinuturo yan, Mindoro and Palawan, lands of promise. Palawan, mukhang nakaka-take off because of tourism and ecotourism. Ikaw naman, you're about to take off also.
Yeah.
Because of very good management on the political
Kasi
side.
power precedes development. And this is the reason why I'm really pushing for power. Because if we don't power, then
So if
no
you have,
investor will come
if
in.
you have
That's right.
50% more power than you need, that means you can attract investors.
Well, Mindoro Energy City will provide us the gigawatts.
energy.
We will supply the power of the Philippines through the Mindoro Energy
Paano yung
Okay,
giga
so how's that?
something?
How do we-
Paano ito? How does it work?
Which one?
Energy City.
Oh, we will produce, we will
You'll
manufacture.
be the Texas of the
substitute
Philippines
natural
pala.
gas. No, we will not
But using
drill it.
clean.
We will manufacture it, and this is clean energy.
How will you manufacture it? Iko-compress mo yung water para uminit?
What-
There is a process called methanation. So,
Gagawin mong gas? Gagawin mong gas?
gagawin na gas yung
You must
waste.
have
And the
waste.
source
waste,
is green.
The waste comes
Green.
from where?
Feedstocks.
Everything, dedicated energy plantations, no? Municipal solid waste. And then waste of all industrial, like for example, yung sa oil industry, when you
sludge.
when you
Asphalt.
process,
Yung
when
asphalt?
when
The
you
sludge.
process, what do you call this? When you process oil,
Yeah.
di ba, you produce waste.
Sludge.
Sludge. But yung sa bitumen, when you process bitumen,
Sa coal, sa
you
coal.
produce petroleum coke.
So,
all of this waste can be a feedstock.
parang gagawin
for-
parang halo-halo, tapos i-compress mo, gano'n?
I don't know. Hindi ko na alam yung ano.
Kasi
but
pag methane, di ba, medyo unstable yan, matagal mo muna pahihinugin sa ilalim. Kasi
you can
baka biglang
produce it
sumabog.
through science lang ito.
Science.
Kanya nga production, hindi ito yung you don't exploit it from the natural resource. Di ba? Or yung garbage, gagawin mong ano. May
Kasi
mga
sa mga
technologies.
poultry farm, pinag-uusapan niya, methane, kaya lang, ang tagal pala pa bago pwede kunin. Kasi
May mga technologies ngayon. There are available technologies that can
then
harness.
accelerate the process. Ilan ang
Kasi
target?
ganito lang yan. Ano? Ganitong kasimple yan. Natural gas
Yeah.
is methane from under the earth. Yun yung natural
Pero gawain millions of years ago,
Yes.
di ba?
Biogas are methane
Oh.
coming from waste.
Uh,
Kanya yung mga payatos natin, di ba? May sumasabog yan.
Yeah.
And then, you can manufacture it and produce substitute natural gas through a process
Artificial?
called methanation, where you convert, you convert waste
yeah.
to energy.
So, which
And if you can produce 1 kilowatt, you can produce 1 gigawatt, you can produce 100 gigawatts.
how efficient is the conversion rate? How many percent?
I do not have the science.
Ganun.
But
Pero
there
which
are
country is doing it this on a commercial scale?
US.
US.
Dakota Gasification Company does this.
And we have the technology here in
The
Mindoro.
technology is an off-the-shelf technology. You can get it from everywhere. The biggest company like Wärtsilä produces this and so on.
But
and so
sila, American company yan?
on. Is Finnish yatang
Philip.
Wärtsilä.
Sounds like Godzilla, eh, no?
Wärtsilä yan eh.
What's it?
Wärtsilä.
Pero, sir, how many megawatts is the
can it
potential
produce?
with this technology?
Yung dito sa, well, sabi ko nga, unlimited to. If you can
Unlimited.
produce 1 kilowatt, you can produce 1 gigawatt.
And we have enough of this feedstocks.
Well,
Pero
we will have to source it.
Initially, ang gagawin mo, 20 megawatts lang.
Ang unang gagawin
20,
ko,
10,
just
10.
to demonstrate this, to pilot this is 3 megawatts.
3.
And then my next stop is 60 megawatts.
60,
Oh my gosh.
And then the next step is 600 megawatts.
600, big time,
And then we will go for the kill, which is a gigawatts. At which time, since we are producing it cheaply, this is about a third of what we pay Malampaya.
a third lang.
Mas mura.
Mas mura ka sa natural gas?
Mas mura sa Malampaya.
Mas mura. Kaysa sa Malampaya. Pero
Kasi binibili natin ang Malampaya at 30 to 14 dollars per million BTU. Ngayon, in the Japan-Korea market, they buy it at about 18 dollars per million BTU.
Ano ba conversion ng BTU to kilowatt?
Iyan ang hindi ko alam. Abogado ko, criminal lawyer ako. Ayoko ng numbers, pare.
Kasi
But
BTU
the
is a unit of heat, eh.
But the
British
experts
thermal
know
unit.
this. Dakota Gasification Company produces it at less than $5 per million BTU. So why don't we produce it?
One-third lang, sir.
You know, if you exploit it from Malampaya, we pay about $13, $14 per million BTU. When we can produce it at $5.
Pero proven na ba, sir, yung ano mo?
Well, Dakota Gasification Company is
Siya ang tutulong sa'yo,
is a
ang Dakota.
40-year-old company.
Dadalhin niya sa'yo, i-replicate niya yan.
We will do it ourselves. Ito nga yung
Where will you Okay.
I will tell you my analogy. Singapore is about 600 square kilometers. Mindoro is about 10,000 square kilometers. So we're about 20 times bigger than Singapore. Singapore does not have a single natural gas or even oil.
They produce
Walang
it.
resource.
They produce it.
No, they don't. But they are the number one traders of oil in Asia.
Paano nangyari
How come?
yun?
Bakit ganon? And then when I went to Singapore and talked to some of the people in the oil industry in Singapore, I was so surprised and amazed that I was talking to Filipinos.
Sila din ang gumagawa.
So they're being employed by Singapore to run all of these plants using the brains and the minds of the Filipinos. And we cannot even do
Magkano
it here.
investment cost mo dyan, sir?
Doon sa 3 megawatts, ang initial estimate is about $5 million.
Medyo mahal, no?
Yung mahal, pag bumalik
It's
naman yan ng
actually
100 times over, hindi mahal yan.
Mahal. Ganyan din kasi sa natural gas,
Diba?
initial investment.
Kaya ngayon ang
mataas.
sinasabi ko, Singapore started, they did not even have water when
That's right.
when
They were buying
Singapore
from
was
Malaysia.
established. Diba? But now they supply their own. Why? Because they were able to harness their resource. They were able, they used their minds to be able to produce this. They made money out of it, and now they're the biggest trader of oil in the whole of Asia. Well, how come?
Yeah.
Why not the Philippines when we have the resource, we have the mines, and we are more strategically located? Singapore is down south. We are in the midst of all of
We
this.
are less than 2 hours from the largest market on earth, no? China.
What do I hope to achieve in the Mindoro energy?
All right,
city?
before you say that, we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back.
Anyway,
come back.
kung bali lalabas pala, in the coming years will be an energy tycoon.
Hopefully, why not? What's wrong with that? Diba? So anyway, what do I hope to achieve with this? One is I want to develop and establish Mindoro as a model. I have a Mindoro Energy City as a proposal. Initially, I want to showcase this technology producing 3 megawatts of power. And then over time, I will increase this to about 60 megawatts. And then on and on to infinity. Right? And so what will this do to the country? This will not only serve the requirements of Mindoro, this will serve the requirements of the whole country because EPIRA promised sufficiency in power and reasonable rates. Mindoro Energy City will promise sufficient power at cheaper rates. What do I further hope to achieve through Mindoro Energy City? Because when you're able to produce this much energy, cheap at that, then we will become competitive, and so I will be able to attract investors to come into Mindoro to use the surplus energy, cheap energy that we have in Mindoro, and so I will develop Mindoro into an island and will give Singapore a run for its money.
Bali, you will literally electrify the country, no? Tsaka maganda location ng Mindoro, sir, ha?
Yes.
It is Luzon, at the same time, it is in Visayas. Tapos nakatutok sa Mindanao.
Mindoro is in the heart of the Philippines. Mindoro, the Philippines is in the heart of Asia. So Mindoro is in the heart of Asia.
Bali, you are the energy heart of the Philippines.
Yes. That is what we hope to achieve, and hopefully, when we are able to do this, I will go beyond power because if I have achieved sufficiency in power and cheaper rates at that, I will now go into fuels. I will produce cleaner fuels and I will produce cheaper fuels. What will happen to the country?
Kung saan palagay mo yan sa investment priorities plan?
Well, I have to establish first through a pilot because, as you were saying, this looks like it's too good to be true. But when I start my 3 megawatt, then I will show
When will this start?
I will show the Philippines and the world that this can happen.
So the pilot is now going to be started?
I have talked to PNOC. I think you were there when I called in PNOC, DOE. I called in UP School of Engineering and Chemistry.
Agree naman sila.
You were there when they said that this can be done.
Baka nag-agree lang sila because you have a powerful personality.
Well, then I will use my power for them to make it happen. I will make it happen. Because if they say that this is feasible and this is doable, why are we not doing this what will this do to the country? One is that when we are able to produce sufficient power and produce fuel, substitute natural gas, we don't need to import oil. We don't need to import LPG because we will produce it ourselves. We don't need to import urea because we will produce it ourselves. Now, since we have sufficient power, we can now supply the requirements of all big industrial users, petrochemical companies, cement plants, paper plants, and so on and so forth. And what else will this do to the country? Like, if I am able to establish Mindoro Energy City, I will get back all of the mines that we are sharing the whole world and establish it here in the Philippines. So this will reverse the brain drain. What else will this do? Since all of these industries will come in, I will get all of the OFWs in the world and give them the employment that they need so that they will not be abused, they will not be raped, they will not commit suicide when they are raped abroad. This is what Mindoro Energy City and manufacturing natural gas can do for the country.
If it is so good or viable an idea, how come ngayon lang naisip yan?
Wala pa si Aryo Wala pa si Congressman Umali.
Yung palang clean chair. Well, good luck and congratulations, Congressman.
I hope...
we wish you more power and that this should start right away already. With the funding. There's
with
funding
your
for
help,
this.
What did the President say to your program?
I have not discussed this with the
Not yet
President. I
discussed?
just gave
I thought
him
he visited you some time ago.
Well, but what we discussed really is just the crisis for.
Crisis.
But I also in that memo that I gave the President, I gave him a glimpse of Mindoro Energy City, and I hope he takes it on. He directs the Secretary of Energy to take a closer hard look at Mindoro Energy City, because this concept, it is still a concept now, but this is a replicable concept that can be done in any part of the
Sabi
country.
nga nila, sir, build it and they will go there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we wish you more power. And the
And I
President's
need
going to
your
hear
support.
about it from our show.
I need
Anytime,
your
basta
support.
ikaw,
In the business sector, this is BizNews.
Yeah.
Let us titillate the minds
Yeah.
of our private business sector to look at this approach, this initiative, this technology, and I think if we
Saka sa energy, you really have to think big, no?
Yes.
Talagang big.
Yeah.
precisely
And it's something that's doable. That's the whole point. It's doable.
yes.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much, Kong Ray Umali. You watch another episode of Biz News. I'm Elizabeth Lee, together with Tony Lopez. See us every Monday at 10:30. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night. God bless. Thanks for watching.